another pleasant afternoon across KELOLAND. A warmer one compared to yesterday in a couple of areas, mid-70s to the east. Either side of Haiti, though, out to the west, and it is at times going to be breezy as we head through the afternoon. The wind backs off tonight. We're mostly clear, and as a result, it's pretty comfortable. Upper 40s and low 50s for overnight low temperatures. We really don't have much of a moisture to talk about anytime soon, but we do have things to talk about all the same. More on that in your forecast when Midday in KELOLAND starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, Midday in KELOLAND.
The family of a Sioux Falls homicide victim continues to seek answers. Plus,
President Biden gives his final speech to the UN before leaving office. I'm Michael George in New York with his message to world leaders.
Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. The family of a Sioux Falls homicide victim is still looking for answers. They're asking anyone who knows anything about the Dunham Park shooting 4 weeks ago to contact Crime Stoppers. Josh Allen was shot to death, and 3 others were wounded in the afternoon shooting during a large gathering. Allen's brother says the loss is hitting the family hard.
I can't call him. I can't talk to him. I can't get that phone call. I can't get his opinion on anything no more.
We'll learn more about Josh Allen, who is an aspiring musician, tonight on KELOLAND News. He leaves behind 7 young children. Pivoting to weather, it's feeling sort of like fall out there. Hints of summer still in the air, though, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, we just aren't going to be getting any sustainable fall weather anytime soon, let alone any sustainable moisture for that matter. It is just going to be a long run of nothing. We'll just skip right over to Futurecast to illustrate the point, at least at first, and you can see just how little moisture we have to work with. When we get this level of nothing going around, yeah, it's going to be one of those stretches of time. There is low pressure that we're going to be talking about, which will actually be the remnants of some tropical moisture, and while that's typically promising, it won't be this time around, as we get absolutely nothing out of the equation, and we are going to be stuck with just more dry weather and a worsening drought situation out to the west. There's Lake Madison, 66 degrees with a north wind at 14 miles per hour. It is, all things considered, a very nice day to get outside if you have the chance to do so, whether you are by any kind of body of water this afternoon or if you're just out and about today in Sioux Falls, which several people are out and about in Falls Park. Again, can't blame them. 72 north wind to 14 miles per hour, and it's going to stay seasonable for the rest of the day. We're at 68 in Brookings, 70 Huron and Aberdeen, Pierce 71, Phillip is 77, one of the warmer temperatures out there rather. 69 degrees for Rapid City and 68 as you head towards Spearfish. Winds are really going to be a bit of an issue today, nothing terrible, but 10 to 20 miles per hour, generally out of the northwest. So it is going to be a cooler breeze out there this time around, so we do at least have that working in our favor. That wind, though, is going to be turning to the south sooner rather than later, which is going to allow that temperature to climb a bit more. Mid-70s today, which is right about where we should be for this time of year in southeastern and even northeastern KELOLAND for that matter. We could get a few low 70s out of the deal with a healthy mix of sun and clouds. Out to the west, a bit warmer, around 80 in many locations, still breezy, still with partly to mostly sunny skies overall. But like I said, outside of the temperature, there's not much else to go on. We'll go through the rest of that 7-day forecast all the same coming up.
Thank you, Adam. U.S. President Joe Biden addressed the United Nations General Assembly this morning for his final time as Commander-in-Chief. The speech comes as the U.S. announced it is sending a small number of additional troops to the Middle East as tensions in the region escalate even further. Michael George reports from New York.
President Biden took the stage at the United Nations General Assembly as tensions in the Middle East edge closer to an all-out regional conflict.
I know many look at the world today and see difficulties and react with despair, but I do not. I won't.
Biden's address comes amid new attacks Tuesday between Israel and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. A day earlier, Israel carried out airstrikes against the Iran-backed group. Lebanese authorities say more than 500 people were killed. Israel says it targeted weapons storage facilities. Hezbollah has escalated strikes on Israel's north since the October 7th Hamas attacks that triggered the war in Gaza. President Biden said he hasn't given up on reaching a diplomatic solution.
Now is the time for the parties to finalize its terms, bring the hostages home, and secure security for Israel and Gaza free of Hamas' grip, ease the suffering in Gaza, and end this war.
President Biden is expected to have one-on-one meetings on the sidelines, but so far a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not on the schedule. President Biden also spoke about the expansion of NATO and highlighted America's role in defending Ukraine against Russian aggression.
We cannot grow weary. We cannot look away. And we will not let up on our support for Ukraine.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet with President Biden, as well as Vice President Harris and former President Donald Trump this week. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Biden also called on reforming and expanding membership of the UN Security Council. Today, the U.S. Department of Commerce announced that the EDA is investing $4.3 million in the state of South Dakota. The EDA investments announced are for the Rosebud Economic Development Corporation in Mission, South Dakota. They will receive a $3.5 million grant for construction of a manufacturing workforce training facility on the Rosebud Sioux Reservation. The city of Centerville will receive a $725,000 grant to construct a new water tower and support manufacturing business growth. Like so many towns, Brandon, South Dakota has its own interesting story to tell. Brandon's population was as low as 200 in 1950, but the addition of the interstate helped it grow into the bustling community it is today.
In Brandon's case, it grew very, very slowly. In fact, we just celebrated our 50th anniversary last year, and 50 years ago, Brandon's population was about 2,000 or so. And at the most recent census, we're, pushing 12,000.
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, we're going to take a closer glance at Brandon's fast population growth and show you the town's oldest surviving wooden structure. The sounds of music will echo through Brandon on Saturday night as the Marching Links host the Big Sioux Review. The event will feature 16 marching bands from South Dakota and Minnesota. 14 high schools will compete in 3 classes, while Brandon Valley and Augustana perform an exhibition. The chair of the Big Sioux Review says the competition is celebrating its 25th anniversary this fall.
We're really hoping to bring people out that have maybe participated in the Big Sioux Review in the past or been to it and maybe haven't been to it for a while, so we're really excited to bring people in.
The Big Sioux Review is Saturday at Brandon Valley High School. Gates open at 5:30. Admission is $15 for adults and $10 for students and senior citizens.